Welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoy the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook?
Hello and welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. Today I am joined by Joanne Wilson, who is a Driver CPC trainer and transport manager. She has been part of the Fleet Geeks community for some time, and I'm absolutely delighted to have her on the podcast. So, Joanne, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for having me.
No worries at all. I'm really pleased that you've come and joined us today. So, Joanne, the reason we're doing the podcast today is that you've recently joined with the Flagship Partners Driver CPC Consortium, and I wanted to just do a bit of a spotlight and give you the opportunity to be able to showcase sort of what you're going to be doing and who you're going to be doing it for and what sort of areas as well. So first of all, though, are we able to just talk a bit more, tell the listeners a bit more about Joanne? Who are you and what have you been doing so far in your career to now?
Well, I've had quite a varied background, really. I started off, I've done retail, I've done office work. I started my career in the recovery side of section, really. Worked for a local recovery company, worked up to manager, and then went across to the heavy side of recovery, and worked there for 11 years and helped build that and get it stronger. That moved in a different direction. So then I'd taken my CPC because we was doing recovery for non-broken down vehicles, and obviously that's repatriation. So then it becomes operator license. You need an operator license for that. So that was my reason for going into that. And then took on more of a role with the transport manager, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I absolutely love it. Couldn't have done better. I got quite a biggish operator. Well, you can't really say biggish, but 15 is quite a jump from where I was with only 3 vehicles. And done forge training, took my practitioner course, and I just seem to be keep absorbing. I love it. Yeah, absolutely love just getting more training.
Oh, I love it. So you're enjoying that development journey yourself and sort of learning new stuff and having new experiences. That's really cool. And whereabouts are you working at the moment, Joanne? Are you self-employed, or are you still working for somebody else and then you're looking to build the Driver CPC on the side of that?
No, I am self-employed. So I have 4 operators and 2. I'm a consultant for 2. So quite varied. I decided to go into CPC because I thought it was the next development. A local company down here who I trained with, he's moved on to somewhere else. So I just thought that was the next step. Plus, it's a different sort of area to travel into, I think. And just I thought it'd be more career development for me, because I'm quite shy in some respects, and some people that know me might not think that, because I do come across quite forward. But yeah, I'm I've spoken to one of my colleagues who I've worked alongside of, and he's looking at retiring, so he's got offices. So I've thought, right, there's my ideal opportunity. So yeah, I've now got offices that I'm getting into. So that'll be, that's my next step. So hopefully my consortium will start end of this month. Last week of this month I'm starting.
That's super exciting. I can tell the anticipation and the excitement in your face. So have you got the keys to the new premises yet? That's always an exciting start. You have, and you've got to get in there. So have you got furniture and those kinds of things, or are you having to go out and have a look for that sort of thing?
No, one of the people that I do consultancy for, his daughter recently got married. I know I'm sweating as well. It's this heat.
It's fine. We're in a heat wave, aren't we? It's massively hot.
I can't even blame menopause.
Bless you.
So his daughter got married, so he's got a load of furniture. So it's just going to be a little bit basic to start off with. but as we go along, then yeah, I'm looking forward to like getting a bit more comfy for people. But yeah.
Joanne, I'm really excited for you. Really excited for the end of this month. That's super cool. So whereabouts in the UK are you, Joanne? Where is your office?
I'm in Hull. I'm in Hull. So, yeah, so I am looking at doing Hull and the East Riding.
Fantastic. And have you and so I'm just going to ask a few more questions actually, because I'm quite interested about your external transport manager clients. So you've got 4 transport manager clients, and then you've also got some consultancy work as well. Tell me a bit more about those external transport manager clients that you work with. How many sort of vehicles? What sort of size are they?
So I've now like limited my clients. So the most one's got like 4. That's my top one now.
They're all smaller operators.
Yeah, I did have the 15, but then we're going in with the CPC. I didn't want to then overextend myself if that got taken off and not be able to commit to enough hours for him. Cool. But I'm still consulting with him, because obviously I got him from a red operator to a green operator. And we've maintained FOS bronze for the last 3 years. So he wants to go into silver now, so I will stay on board with him to help him get to silver in the FOS. And yeah, the other ones I've taken over from what shall we say, a name-only transport manager. I took over from them because they'd gone to the traffic commissioner and needed somebody else in support. So yeah.
Awesome. So you've had your work cut out then, Joanne, to be fair.
Yeah, but I do like them kind of operators, to be fair, because it's more rewarding in helping somebody get green, to be running efficiently. I think it's important.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. I love that feeling of, you know, turning a business around, or their compliance and that operational side of the business, turn it around from somewhere that's sort of not really got anything to sort of get it up to green. I think that's a really nice journey, isn't it? And then when you get that first OCRS score back that's come back in green, and you're like, yes, this is what it's all for. Really exciting. And I tend to get more excited than the operator about it. I don't know if you found that
I do.
well.
To be fair, definitely. Yeah.
The joys of being a transport manager, right? Because I think they don't really understand. Well, sometimes we have to educate people on the value of being a green operator, right? And no, that's really cool. So okay, cool. So you've got 4 operators. They're all sort of relatively sort of small at the moment, and you've got the keys to the premises coming up as well. So for the next question, I think, is, have you decided on a name for your business, for your transport manager business? What is the name, and can people come and find the website yet?
I keep like switching and changing and not going, and I am thinking Hull and East Yorkshire training and consultancy at the minute. That's what I'm thinking. Somebody's just taken Humber, otherwise I would have gone with that. But yeah, I'm thinking more of Hull and East Yorkshire training, and then cutting it down to sort of the HE Hull and East Yorkshire, yeah. So if that makes sense.
You could call it Hay Training, HUY.
Hay Training, yeah.
HUY. Like it. I like it. I think you're onto that. Hay DCPC.
Yes.
But yeah, I think there's a real benefit to naming. You know, I see some businesses where they've named them after the sort of region they operate in. I think that's a really good way of doing it, and it's very Google friendly as well for when people go looking. So that's certainly a good thing to think about. Are you gonna go for like a website? Are you gonna go for that kind of stuff to start to promote the stuff you're doing?
Eventually, but I think I'll just go with word of mouth, because I know quite a lot of operators within Hull. I will approach them, mostly doing it in-house for my clients that I've already got, and then hopefully that will go as word of mouth to be able to go. I have approached somebody to be able to go to their premises, because they've got boardrooms and stuff like that. It's quite a big operator, cool. So hopefully we'll be able to flit about with my kit.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I do recommend for CPC training companies to go for. It can be quite tricky doing the online competing with drivers on courses, that kind of stuff. It can be quite tricky from a pricing point of view and trying to make margin. So we often talk about trying to attract bigger customers to go and do sort of in-house training for them. I think that's a really good way of going, and it keeps your standards high. Are you going to look to deliver via Zoom or do anything remotely, or is it all going to be sort of face-to-face for you, Joanne?
No, I'd rather do face-to-face. I think the interaction's a bit more better, I think, because the company that have rented me the premises, they've been running since 1889.
Wow.
Amazing. And when they was clearing out their office, they'd found the Earl Health and Safety Certificate. I already know a bit of history because obviously I've worked with him for a long time. And his dad recently died, and he was a great guy. So I've said I would like all his pictures from old to new, and do like a little wall.
Love that
of all his pictures. Just to get a talking point of when people come in, whether they like the company or they don't like the company, it's still a focal point of talking of, you know, like how many people in our town have got that history of been trading since 1889, you know, over
That's
200
amazing,
years.
isn't it?
It is, it's something to be, you know, proud of, and, you know, keep that going, I think.
Yeah, great heritage that is. I think I love that when there's family businesses that have been operating for that long. I think the heritage is fascinating, and you can sort of, you know, in those premises you'll be able to feel all the different people that have been employed there, and, you know, all the different things that have gone on. I think that's quite interesting, quite exciting. So, Joanne, that's really excited. I'm really excited for you. How did you find the training when you came to Flagship? How did you find that when you came and visited us?
Hello, it's Shani from Flagship Partners. We are really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. If you need expert advice or training for your fleet business, make Flagship Partners your first choice. We are really excited to announce the launch of our Transport Manager Academy. With expert development for fleet leaders, we offer fully accredited initial Transport Manager CPC training, CPC refresher, and operator license awareness training, as well as mentoring, support, and professional development beyond the qualification. Our vision is to develop elite fleet professionals.
Yeah, it was more beneficial than I thought, because obviously I'd done the RHA training, train the trainer, and while I did get something from that, having a more in-depth, along with other people that were going to be delivering it, to see how they spoke, and to get challenged as well, because one of the lads on there, because I'd done a little talk on mental health. So as we was discussing it, and I'd gone around the room, like his first words, I think it's a load of SHRT. And like,
really?
where'd you go with that?
Wow.
So then
that's an attitude you'll get sometimes in Driver CPC.
Absolutely.
Really,
so I did deflect it quite well, and you know, Mike was just like afterwards, you did real well with that. That was quite a challenge, the way you just deflected and carried on. And because like you say, you will get that, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know. And I thought it was really good. I did thoroughly enjoy my 2 days.
Good. I'm pleased. It's wow, that must have been quite tricky, actually. I'm just sort of reflecting on that particular instance. So I'm assuming that it was quite comprehensive. You learnt about all the courses that we offer and those kinds of things as well as part of the experience.
and how to deliver it. Like that was the better way. We all have like different ways of we speak and how we come across, but that was more interesting, like of how to deliver it, of like the best way to, like, you know, of engagement, you know, like I wouldn't have thought of having props, but, you know, and having your clicker, you know, like Mike was like, just having something in your hand and learning to walk about. If you can learn to walk about, I would never have got that anywhere else, you know. And you know, and since, like, because obviously John's already delivered a class, hasn't he? And getting his feedback, because I am really nervous. But seeing his, and he got audited on his first as well, so that was really good to know that it is okay. You just you are conscious of it, but you do get worried, don't you? It's you don't think consciously you will, but you know, as a worrier myself, I thought it was more beneficial because we've still got that WhatsApp group and we can bounce off each other still.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's a big benefit with the consortium members around the WhatsApp group as well, isn't there? Where you've got that support. And John, I think, has done a video about his experience around being audited and what that was like, and obviously the benefit of sharing the report as well. So seeing the things that you get asked about as part of the audit and the things that an auditor's looking for, I think is useful because you can be prepared. But I think the thing to remember, and lots of people who start out driver CPC training will feel like they're absolutely bricking it. And, you know, and the audit can be an anxious thing when you get audited. But I think if you feel anxious about it and you want to do a great job, I think they're the things that will make it good, if that makes sense. Those are the things, you know, the auditors are making sure that really bad practice is not happening, for example. They're, you know, all of the things that you're looking to do and deliver professional training, I think will really sort of align with the auditor. So but I think the thing is you can never, until you've had one, you don't really know. So it's one of those things, isn't it? You've got to kind of get out there and do it, and then once you've had an audit, you've had an audit as well. But I know it's certainly a worry for a lot of people. And I still remember tangibly my first ever driver CPC course that I delivered. I remember it so well, above a pub with 3 people. And it was, it felt like the longest day ever. And it was because I hadn't slept a wink the night before. I was super nervous. I was so scared. And I remember sitting outside in the car park before I went in thinking, I hope the projector gets set up properly. I hope everything works. I hope my laptop doesn't break, you know, all of these things. And I got audited. So I don't know whether that's a thing, right? But I got audited on my first one. And it was, so it's kind of good at the end of it, but it was such a relief. I think I slept for 2 days afterwards. It was such a relief once I got it over and done with. But, you know, like I say, I think it's a really rewarding thing to do driver CPC. But like you say, some of the questions can be a bit challenging, particularly if someone says, well, mental, you know, whatever you're talking about, if someone goes, well, this is, you know, what you're talking about is shite. It's really hard to try and, you know, manage stuff. But I'm sure you've got all the skills you need now, Joanne. Tell me a bit more. I'm interested to hear a bit more about, obviously you said you'd done the trainer with RHA. Tell me a bit about that. What was that like?
It was okay. I mean, there was 2 of us again. And yeah, it was good. And we got equipped with whatever you needed to be equipped with. But again, I didn't realise that it'd be like, to build your own, like, class-based thing, it's more intense than you think, you know. And when you're busy, like we all are, you know, it's that time, isn't it, to be able to sit and do that, which, you know, and I don't feel like it's been a waste of doing it because it was good experience. But I did like to not be able to come out with what I needed was a little bit deflecting, you know. And they don't promote the consortiums very good. But then, you know, if you get the right consortium, I think, it can be quite beneficial. I mean, I'd looked at others, and then the minute you said you was doing yours, it was, you know, from doing the podcasts and, you know, listening to you, like the Fleet Geeks one that we do. I said to one of my colleagues, like, this is where I'm going with mine, because obviously the people that you've had on board with the podcast speaks volumes, doesn't it? And you know what you're getting, especially like with Mike as well. He's industry standards and stuff. So I just thought it was a no-brainer, really.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, the CPC courses are, you know, I'll be honest, they've been iterated over all the years we've been doing them. So when I first started, and we registered as a driver CPC centre, that there was a discussion about doing a consortium, and I just didn't feel the materials were ready yet, if that makes sense. Because I think it's one thing writing a CPC course for yourself. When I look at the first course I wrote and where the difference between that and where the materials and the courses are now, it's just a world of difference. Because the thing is we've had the input from Mike, from Jay, from Jamie, from the rest of the team. All the experience has gone in and iterate, and as well as feedback. So slightly differently, and I don't think other CPC centres will do the same, but we really listen to the feedback we get from people. So if people go, I don't really think that worked, or, you know, this would work really well, and we've tried new things and, you know, different activities and different quizzes, and, you know, so that iteration, there's real value, I think, in that. There's real value in being able to go, I know that this CPC, you know, for example, the CPC courses you're running, you know that some really big operators have been super happy with the quality of the content. It's kind of proven. And I think when you go out to try and create your own, it can be a bit daunting, and it is time consuming. Like you say, I think I've worked out, just to write a course, for every hour of content, it takes 2 to 3 hours to create that. So for one day's course, you're looking at half a week's work. So you'd only create maybe 2 courses if you just focused on it solely for a week. Now, and then that would only ever be your first version as well. If you're going to make it good, you then have to deliver it and get feedback, and, you know, and iterate it and get better and better. So it is a really, you know, it's a time consuming thing. You know, the courses we've got have been created over 10 years of development. So, and I've seen some of the others out there, they are a bit not quite there yet. So, but yeah, Joanne, awesome. And what have you got planned today? Where are you going today? I know I've caught you just before you're heading out the door to go and see a customer, are you?
Yeah, well, it's my accounts day today, so I look after a tyre company. Yeah, so I do all the tyres, the mobile repairs for trucks and stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm
really
quite a bit diverse.
Yeah, aren't you? You're a lady of many talents, shall we say?
Yes.
A lady of many talents, and they're only increasing, Joanne. So that's fascinating. Joanne, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast, and I really appreciate you. Appreciate you sharing your experience. So, if people want to get in touch, if they're in the Hull and East Yorkshire area and they're looking for driver CPC training, Joanne, how do they get in touch with you?
So yeah, I'll be putting on my contact number. So I will be putting it on my Facebook. I have deleted my Facebook account at the minute, but I will get that back up and running with an attachment with my Hey training. Is it Hey? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey training.
Hey.
Sorry.
I'm quite liking that one now. It's like more come to it.
Yeah. Hey transport.
So yeah, I will have that on my Facebook so people can contact me through there.
Cool, no worries. And are you on LinkedIn as well, Joanne?
I'm on LinkedIn, yeah. LinkedIn, cool. Instagram and Facebook.
Cool. So it's Joanne Wilson, and look out for Hull and East York's training, or Hay training potentially when it gets named. What we'll do is we'll link into your LinkedIn profile, Joanne, and Facebook, and we'll get you linked on the show notes. So if people are listening and they're interested in driver CPC training in-house in that area, then they know who to come and speak to. And thank you for coming along. Thanks for coming along to all the networking as well. Really appreciate your input when you come to the Fleet Geeks networking. It's a pleasure to have you as part of the community, Joanne. So thank you very much, and keep on.
Thank you very much.
with your progression. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you found it interesting, and we'll see you all on the next one. Thank you very much. Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.